All right, how about now? All right, I actually just moved my whole office to my living room area. We've taken my room, guys. It's over. He got his own room. All right, so Bitcoin weekly candle open. We're still holding above the weekly 21 EMA, and we just opened a new candle, holding above the weekly 21 right now. We've touched the median trend line of the range, so I would expect a bounce here. Obviously, we had some daily oscillators are oversold, 4 hour, and getting a nice rip off the lows here. So we did get an early buy signal here on the daily. I believe the 8 hour and 4 hour multi-range are long. Okay, we have an 8 hour long on multi-range. That's usually a pretty significant signal to get. We don't have a daily that's in, right? We're coming into some resistance here with these moving averages, but I really think that this is going to, if we break this area and we close above it next day or two, I think this could be a retest of 23 to 24K region. We might even retest the range highs, 24.8. Depends on how strong this move is, right? We might get a pullback right here and then retest this low at 21.6 or something, right? We're probably not going to, I mean, we could bust through this if we get candle closures up here, but we got room on the daily to run. Lots of people are shorting these levels. But to me, this is still a higher low than these lows. So we're going to bounce right here and yeah, like 23,000-ish. This wick high, we could run up to 22.7, I would say is possible for this move. It's looking pretty good right now. If we were going to break down, we probably would have already started breaking down, I feel like. We're coming into some resistance levels here, right? 22.8, 23K region, right, for this move. We're at a 4 hour 200 EMA right now, so this could act as resistance as well. We're going to take a look at Tether. Obviously, we know USDC is wrecked right now, or was wrecked. All right, but we got the lower high here on Tether coming in on the daily chart. Looks like it's going to come back down to back test this breakout that it had, but it's technically a lower high than this high, right? But we're going to see if Tether does hold this low, then we could see more downside, right, with the market. So we want to pay attention to this. If this just breaks back into this and starts breaking through these moving averages here, then that's looking really good for the market. And this is probably a lower high, maybe a head and shoulders type of setup. A lower right shoulder is really weak, right, than the left shoulder, if that is a head and shoulders type of structure on Tether. So we want to really pay attention to that. And the RSI on the daily, you know, we're still in the bounds of this move up for Tether. Okay, it doesn't mean much. I agree. You know, financial stocks are probably going to get wrecked. We're probably going to see, you know, the beginnings of maybe some crazy stock market collapse. You know, we could be seeing that. But if Bitcoin is treated as commodity or gold, then it might run with gold, right? Bitcoin might run with gold. So I'm curious to see what Bitcoin versus gold looks like, because we all know that gold's probably going to rally in an environment like this, right? We'll look at Bitcoin gold, and then we'll look at gold. I think those are going to be something good to look at, right? All right, so I thought maybe we'd retest this 1670 low. No, I didn't. We double bottomed here, right? So this was if this support broke. We could have broken all the way back down on gold, right? If this wasn't going to be a supported move. So to me, if gold's going to actually make a run when there's banking collapse, right? That's like 2008 all over again, right? For gold. And gold during 2008 initially got a pretty big markdown in price, right? So that could happen. That's why I probably have that plotted there. So if we do see like a big sell-off, we could see gold come back down to retest these lows potentially, but it's not looking that way. It looks like it's holding above the 3-day, 200-day moving average. Like this use the 3-day 200-day moving average as support, right? So if we're above that, then we're game to pivot here and run. If people are flighting to safety, which is gold or Bitcoin, right? Aptos, I think, retested that breakout on its wedge pattern, right? That's probably something to look at. That thing made a huge run in this off these lows for Bitcoin at 15, 16K. I'm getting lots of alerts right now. All right, so yeah, Aptos, right? We were talking about that. And so we called the falling wedge break, right? January, we called this bottom of this move. It ran to almost $20, and it's like making this flag formation. Looks really strong, right? We even got a nice daily RSI breakout. That's a nice break right on the daily. So that's a momentum shift, I think, for this asset. We haven't got confirmation on the daily, but I think the 8-hour we got confirmation, right? Well, not yet. So we don't have a multi-range 8-hour. I'm actually going to set an alert on that. If we get an 8-hour multi-range, that's a swing, okay? Big swing. You guys are watching me set the alert for it right now on stream, so I'm going to get it. And if you guys are part of the alert service, you guys, we're gonna get an 8-hour long signal that comes in and alert you guys, and you guys know to get into a nice swing trade on Aptos, because it'll probably cup and handle. Like, this is a wedge, but it's actually a big cup pattern, and you do about 50% of the move down, which is exactly what you did, about 618 golden mean ratio reversal area, right? So we would probably get a break and then a back test of that 1175 region before it really maybe goes up. Depends on what Bitcoin does, right? Obviously, we think we're going to see maybe a bit of upside before more downside type of deal. But we'll see how the stock market opens, right? The futures are open right now, right? And futures are actually up. So we'll see, man. Yeah, if the S&P or the Dow is actually what we want to really be paying attention to, because Bitcoin, actually, there's a lot of correlation with Bitcoin to the Dow. And the Dow 4-hour is showing some divergence down here on the 4-hour. Daily is sitting around 32. It's technically a higher low than that low on the RSI, which is and a lower low on price. So obviously the daily, we are also diverging on the Dow on the daily. We could go back up to back test this 32.7 area on the Dow. And if we get rejected there, then we'll probably come lower, right? I would say, but well, the 3-day, actually, if we hold, this is the 200-day moving average. Right now, it's if we print tomorrow as a really bad day, then this is going to break this support, right? So we'll see how this plays out. We have some shorter-term time scales that are showing us some divergence, like 4-hour and daily. So we could maybe see a potential back test there. So I'm talking about if the traditional market does collapse, then this would be. I don't know if it would bode well for crypto, really, but we'll see. At the banks collapse, I think crypto actually probably holds on because that's why people are buying crypto, right? Because they're afraid of what's happening with the banking system. I don't know. That's the narrative anyway. So what do you guys think? Throw it to me. We covered Bitcoin briefly. Maybe a potential wedge break. We might see this back test 21.6. We are becoming a bit close to overbought on the 4-hour. So yeah, we could be hitting some resistance here. Brief resistance there. But right now we're long right this very, very moment. So we'll take a look at ETH. What else do you guys want to look at? We'll look at, you know what? I don't even have a lot of this stuff set. Let me just see. Fear and Greed Index currently sitting neutral, right? So we'll take a look at that. We're going to take a look at Glassnode here for you guys also, as we do every week. So we're still in hope or fear stage of the market, technically on Glassnode. Cycle repaint chart, obviously repainting lots, but it does repaint, right? It's still showing upside. Okay. I would say so far though, if this does hold true, then you know, this has been somewhat pretty helpful, pretty accurate. But I go more so with the timing, right? So the timing of the bottoms and the top. I mean, this is based on the previous cycle, so we don't really know if this is going to hold true, right? It does repaint, that's for sure. It repaints. All right, well, let's see. Bitcoin holding the median range here, okay? Big level for Bitcoin. If we can hold above 21.7, I think was the area I said last Sunday. If we broke, we could see some downside. We saw some downside. We're getting a reaction off this support, this 19.8 level. 20.5K was the Bitcoin CME gap that got filled, but we did just gap up here. So I think maybe we actually come back down to back test this region, you know, but where we just broke out from on the futures chart here. So we'll see how that pans out. Bank issues, USDC emergency, Fed meeting, and CPI data. Buckle up. Yeah, I think I don't know, man. I mean, when you have dailies oversold, it's tough to be a seller into that, right? Are bots really selling below a certain RSI? You have bots that are buying and scalp trading it, right? We don't have we do have a buy signal that's in on the daily, just not a confirmed multi-range long, but I have another long here on a we had some counters come in on the 8-hour, I think, and the 12-hour. Right there you go. You got the 8-hour counter trend longs that came in, and I think we got a pivot there as well. We got an 8-hour pivot on Bitcoin, showing the divergence in a wedge pattern, right? So those usually tend to break up 67% of the time. So that's why we trade wedges, guys. Right? They break up usually. This Hex coin, nice breakout and back test on Hex. Got a nice pivot rally there, right? For all the degens that are part of this in this coin, it's actually outperforming ETH and Bitcoin combined. Just FYI, this one might actually do some things this cycle. I don't know any of it actually yet, but I was planning on getting some, just didn't. I got flow instead. But yeah, I think flow also breakout and back test, right? This could be a potential double bottom if it does break. If Bitcoin does hold here and we end up going back to the top of the range, then some of these assets that we got at the bottoms of these wedge patterns, if they're making higher lows, these are double bottoms, right? And these could just run back into their ranges, right? We'll see. This to me is looking pretty good on an 8-hour, 12-hour chart, which could be preluding tomorrow's price action, right? So I think we got some resistances to get back above for sure that we need to take as support, but shorter time scales look good. And let's go check out Tether. Like I think we looked at Tether, right? And if we do make a lower high there and we don't, we have a 3-day long that's in, but if we start flipping right here, like I said, if we break down here and it doesn't make a higher low, then this could break to the lows, right? Just the same as if we break back into the range for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin breaks back above 23.8 or whatever it is, then it's going to go test 25K. So it's the same difference here for Tether. If Tether breaks, 7.25, and we get candle closes below that, those moving averages, that means it's going to dump right through them, right? And maybe people just want they just want assets here. They don't want to hold dollars. Look, we're getting a daily sell on the dollar too, right? We have a daily sell that's in right at a supply area. The dollar is probably going to come back down here, right? If it breaks below these moving averages, right? The beginning stages of that rising wedge pattern that the dollar has been in for quite some time here. And this could just be a fake breakout on this channel, right? It was breaking out of this channel, or maybe you could call this a little bit of a wedge pattern, right? And maybe it did a 382 fib extension. We had monthly short signal on the dollar. So yeah, it came up to the 618. All right, beautiful. Nice reversal right at the 618 for the dollar. Yeah, so we'll see how this goes. The daily, we have a 3-day long signal that's in, but we are printing, an early warning short here. This is another product that we're in developing right now. So we could see that maybe in the next couple of days we could see the dollar maybe reverse here. And we could see the dollar come back down to the lows, 101.425, if we do get upside. Eventually, like it might bounce here and then back test again. We could see that stuff. We do have daily shorts on the dollar. Okay. So if Bitcoin's not going to rally, if crypto's not going to rally, then gold will probably rally, right? Yeah. Daily long is in on gold on multi-range. All right. Double bottom on the daily for gold. And so you're looking at, if you're above this neckline right here, so I suspect gold runs up to 19 to 1938. And if we're expecting traditional markets to crash, right? So this is definitely going to be a good trade for gold. Right. Wow, Maker just snapped back, dude, on Maker. Did you guys see that? Because Maker had DAI, which has lots of USDC in it, and DAI also got depegged. Crazy, man. This thing just double bottom, man. That is, and it's in a wedge, right? Or it's in a huge flag pattern. Maker's gonna actually probably really do well because they just bailed them out. They just got bailed out, basically. Wow. Maker DAO. Hey, do you guys remember that coin I was talking about before, that Reflexor governance token? We called it out in the alert chat. This thing is lit. It's up 22% on the day. And if they're going to use this for, stablecoin usage, that's not collateralized by USDC or Tether or any fiat money, then I think it actually does well because it's supported by the ETH network, right? Unlike USDC, right? So we don't, all those fiat backed eventually will I think fail eventually, right? So ETH I think is going to be pretty good long term, right? We know that. This guy's ready to go short at 8:10 p.m. in our Discord. I mean, hourly's overbought on this, but I don't know. I'm gonna short this right here. I guess you could start building a short. It's a strong high, or close your longs. So flow coming in with a bit of resistance up here, 95. Four hour, we got a multi-range long confirmation on the 4 hour. Yeah, so we could see flow go back up to 98 cents by tomorrow if we get above this level here. This was like straight down type of stuff, right? And 4 hours just going bullish. Daily is like nearly oversold, just bouncing off this region. Yeah, so this is this back test here, right? So should be good. All right, and of course our reversal indicator that we just launched. You guys should definitely check it out. It's pretty good. You obviously need to mess with the settings to get what you want out of it, right? So I was actually messing around with it more so on like the 4 hour. Okay, the 4 hour was giving me when I was buying flow the other day, I bought it around 95, right? Right below at the bottom of this range. I thought we were going to reverse here, right? We had like 3 ticks of bullish divergence that came in, and I just kept getting buy signals here. So I thought it was a pretty good spot for a spot trade, long-term spot trade, right? Because I think ultimately this does go to these regions like $4 or $5, maybe 3 to 6 months from now, maybe a year from now. I don't know what the timeline is, but it doesn't really matter. I just think when you're buying an asset that's 98% off its lows, even if you do get a bear market rally, you could see this thing go retest that $5 region. On the 3-day chart, that seems like the most prevalent or most probabilistic thing that it would do if it was breaking out of a wedge, right? Right, because we broke out. We're just back testing this area here on flow, and we're getting a nice bounce off this region. Okay, and it's technically a higher low than this low, so that's why this could be a pivot and a potential double bottom. We even have an 8-hour pivot right here and a long, right? Yeah, so that's significant. When you get pivots like that, that's pretty significant. So we'll see how this goes. If we really see lots of buying activity come in, we're probably going to get initial rejection, probably around that $1 region, or up to equilibrium, which is between 102 and 107, before we actually pull back. And we might just do this for a little bit, and then we'll probably come back to test the low, and then maybe we could range there for a bit. We're breaking back above it. Like, these moves aren't going to happen. Well, I don't think they're going to happen that fast, but they can. This market does move fast. And then you have lots of people trying to short this here because it's a it's a lower high. It's going into resistance. That's fair. I mean, shorting here is probably okay. Taking profit into this 98 cent to $1 region, I think, is good if you're in a long, if you're on a lev trade, like a short-term lev trade or something. But a swing spot trade for me, I'm just staking this stuff and holding it for quite some time. We could see this market, if it really does get destroyed, which I don't think it's going to, because everyone thinks it's going to get destroyed right now. I mean, I guess technically right now we still have a weekly short that's in on the total market cap of crypto on the multi-range, but we're right at an area where we could reverse, right? So we'll see. There is lots of overhead resistance here on total, right? But it doesn't look similar to what Bitcoin just did. I mean, technically the total market cap made a lower high than here, right? But we took out this area here. So if this does make another leg up, it's going to probably, and if it does make a higher high, that is, if the total market cap does this and goes to test 115, that's technically a higher high than here. We made a higher low. We could, potentially get up to that region in market cap. Okay. We could do something like this first. I don't know, before we get there. It may not just be right away, right? Because if we do go to the weekly chart and we're holding above the 21 exponential moving average and using that as support, we'll see. I mean, like I said, this scenario actually on moving averages hasn't really happened before in previous cycles, as we're seeing, right? I mean, like total market cap is only on here. It's only goes back to 2014. So we really have to look at Bitcoin, and yeah, I mean, the fact that we're holding above this median of the channel here, to me tells me that there's some strength there. We're holding that support. Okay, it's not something. I mean, we can get rejected here. That's what some people are thinking that we're going to do. We're going to reject this and then make a lower low. We can come up here and reject this level, this 23, whatever this level, 23.8. We can come up and test it again and make a double top. That would not be good, right? 23.8 I think is the deciding factor if we actually go up to test the top of this range again. So 23.8 is what I'm looking at right now, guys. If we manage to stay above 21.7 and we push, 23.850 and then up to about 25.2 or 3 where we touch, where the 200 week moving average is somewhere up there. We can just go to it. It is, yeah, right around 25K right now. I'm thinking that if we do bounce here and we hold this level and we hold it, we'll eventually break out of this, right? If we don't hold here and we make a double top lower high and we eventually break down, and we retest this low on the total market cap. That, I mean, that's just that's just the way it's going to go, right? It's either going to go up or it's going to go down. If we don't hold this region here, I'd say we're in some trouble, and we're probably going to go retest the bottom of the range. But for now, it looks like we're getting some bids coming in here at these levels. Okay. Otherwise, yes, this would have just crashed right through it. Why not? Think about it that way. If we were really going to break this, we would have broke it already, right? We would have just dumped this thing. Cool. We'll see how this goes, guys. Let me know your guys' thoughts. We got 10 people watching the stream tonight. It's been a nice, interesting weekend, man. Really. I mean, here we thought, let's go look at the peg here on USDC. So it's not fully pegged yet. 98.5 on KuCoin. All right. USDC on, I think tomorrow it'll go back to peg when the banks open, right? After this news. That's what Coinbase said, basically. Oh yeah, it's almost back to peg. 99 cents on the dollar. Global index. Did you guys see INJ bounce off that off the top of that range area? I know there's lots of stuff on my chart, but check this out. This is cool. So we're even printing a daily long here on injected protocol. That's super strong. And this is what I see potentially with INJ. It could just go to the 618 and get a massive retracement back down because that's a golden mean ratio. If this is like kind of like a just a relief rally for crypto, which I think that's all this is, we might go to like $35,000 Bitcoin and we'll go back down, right? Until the halving, probably. So yeah, I'm thinking if we do see upside and we do break the 200-week moving average, that's a big if, right? And as in terms of going back up to test the top of that range, 23.8. Remember that, guys. 23.8 is I would say the level to watch out for, breaking back above. This is injective. I think if we do hold these lows, if Bitcoin continues its run, we could see injective, retest the top here, 440. It's already at 385. This thing made a perfect bounce off this low here after it broke this trading range, right? And made a beautiful breakout back test, break, hook, and go type of move. Okay, I think long term this asset can possibly, get up to that $30 range. If we really see this asset take off. Okay. And just common retracement, anywhere from the 618 to the 786 is potentially possible for this asset. It's been outperforming the market, right? Aptos is another one you guys know. Algorand, I called out this morning, right? At like 18.4 cents or something, right? So this one, I think also bottom of the range type of stuff, higher low, double bottom after breaking out of that massive wedge pattern that we charted last month, right? Surprised that there isn't a global index on this, but here it is. I think I have it on this chart. Are you guys with me? Can you guys hear me? How's it going, Integrity? Nice. All right, cool. Yeah, so Algorand putting in another same low or pretty close to this low double bottom. Okay, but this I would say technically this was a fake breakout, right? Yeah, so the daily here looks, it was oversold on the daily chart, right? We could see this potentially being an area where there's interest, right? Came off like 30%, almost 33%. So maybe it could retest this region here, this 24.5 cent region. And then if this is a double bottom, it'll test the neckline, right? And the neckline is 28 cents. All right. Let's see. Well, I appreciate the 10 folks watching the stream tonight. I know the energy level here isn't so amazing, right? Let's see. It's kind of like a scary time in this world, right? We got banks collapsing and stuff, and you know we're sitting in crypto land, like in the highest risk asset class there that exists, and it's an interesting time with inflation going where it is right now, and what the Fed's trying to do to fix that problem. And did I review ApeCoin? No, I didn't. We can look at Ape. But ApeCoin also potentially making an inverse head and shoulders pattern. All right. Also in some sort of, I mean, you could call this a bear. I don't know. There's probably too much space here, but you got a couple trend lines coming in there for Ape. And if this is a pivot, then this could be a potential wedge setup. We got 1, 2, like 3 touch points there. Is this all the data on Ape? I feel like it's not. Okay. All right, so the reason why we're drawing it this way is because we have a touch point here, touch point here. We have a few touch points here. We could see that, you know, these areas were broken and back tested, right? When it broke this trend line. I mean, I don't know. There's plenty of ways you can draw this, right? As long as you have like 2 touch points, you could see that, you know, it's basically trying to bottom itself out with the market. So the RSI still has room to run down if we do get continued price action to the downside. That wouldn't shock me. This is ApeCoin. Yeah, so like looking left, you can see that this area is a pretty critical spot. If it does come back to it, 335. If this makes a lower high and then comes further down, you could be looking at that region, 335 for ApeCoin if it continues down. But daily and 2-day charts looking like we might bounce here. So we'll see how Ape does here. Holding right on a Fibonacci level there on the 3-day chart, and the 8-hour pivot probably, boom, right there on the fib for ApeCoin. But you are heading into resistance, right? You're heading into about 475 to $5 region. If you can get stopped up, like definitely get lots of selling pressure there for that asset. You know, you don't, guys, the trades you don't want to break out. There's no breakout trade here. Like this is like sell into this resistance, you know, type of deal. And if you do break the resistance, you can always re-enter on a back test, right? Because it's going to break out and then back test. So you want to get on the back test if you're going to trade it, I think. If you didn't get in at like this bottom here and you're, you know, selling it into this resistance here type of deal. Sure, we'll look at Link. Link was in that bottoming rectangle formation for quite some time, right? So, I mean, Link is actually, I think, going to do really well because of them helping Coinbase out, right? They're going to be doing Base, right? They're doing Base protocol with them. And that's BlackRock's ETF of the S&P. So they're actually, I think they're going to be launching, BlackRock's going to be launching an S&P like synthetic asset on Base protocol. LDO. We'll take a look at it. Yeah. So Chainlink here. I mean, the only thing that I don't like about Chainlink is this lower high that it made here. All right. But if it's going to hold this low, then technically it's making higher lows than this low here. All right. So maybe it can come up to test, that 740 region, top of the range. As long as Bitcoin is looking okay, guys, I think some of these altcoins are going to obviously also perform well, right? If we're showing that divergence and we're showing those 4 8-hour longs, those are pretty strong signals, okay, for getting retracements back to the upside. But this could get shorted up here, so we need to really pay attention. Like if Bitcoin starts to get sold, $7 on the 4-hour chart here is probably a good area for link if you're in a trade, okay? Just pay attention to Tether as well. We talked about that. That is the most important thing, actually. So once Tether starts getting back to 7.25 region, it might, if it starts to show signs of reversal, then you know what to do, right? Scale out of your long, cover your trade, and see what ends up happening with that, right? LDO, we'll take a look at that. So we got a nice pivot right here at the $2 region. And this to me, like these liquid staking derivative tokens, right? These, that's what these are, right? LDO is one of those. So LDO is a liquid staking derivative token. And lots of people are using these to, I believe, stake ETH somewhere, right? Yeah, so it's retesting the 4-hour 200 EMA. If this is a wedge, it's probably going to go test the top of the wedge, right, or close to it. Probably that 278 region. It might pull back there. It could even pull back close to here. This 270 region, right? That's what we're talking about. So 4 and 8-hour resistance around that 270 region if we get up there. And if we break that and use the 270 region as support, we can test the top of the range, which is around 3.25. Check Theta and Aptos. Yeah, man. Theta we gave a long on, right, in the alert service around that 88-cent region. So Theta, almost $1. I said that was a good area to take profit. I can show you guys in the alert service. We took that trade. Yep. So KSM, DYDX was another one we gave an entry on, and that made a nice run. DYDX actually looks really, really good, guys. It made a nice reset. Very nice reset. Came back into this range that it broke out of. Got like a full reset, okay? And 180, right? So it did about a 50% correction from the top side of this range. And if this is like a fake breakdown here, because of Bitcoin breaking down, then this is going to just rip right back up here eventually. So watch for DYDX. I think this is going to make a big move as well. Right? Exchange token, decentralized exchange token. I think those are going to be doing some big things this cycle too, like GMX, DYDX, even probably Uniswap is going to make a run. Matic. Matic's probably going to do well, but they actually had some layoffs with their developing team, I've heard. They overspent their budget or something. That doesn't mean they don't rally, but I'm just saying I think they overspent their budget. So just something I heard on the street, word on the street. Matic, yeah, maybe $1.26 for Matic. Retest that level there, and it could come back down, right? And then if it's really going to do well, it'll double bottom and then run. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. ETH back over 1,600. That is what a candle. Wow. So if ETH actually manages to break north out of this triangle, it broke a wedge, right? But it's also in a, people could say that this looks like a bearish pennant too. Depends on your viewpoint of what this asset actually did. But ETH, if we hold these levels, man, like we're doing right now, we could see ETH do one of these, come back down, and maybe, leg up to the top eventually, or maybe just equilibrium level, right? Like here. So $2,500 ETH maybe by the summer could happen. If Bitcoin manages to break out of this, right? All depends on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin get above the weekly 200 moving average, I think we see some nice equilibrium upside on Bitcoin 35K region. We'll see. It's really all about Bitcoin getting back above those levels. So 23.8K, that's what we're looking at here, looking out for here in the short term. Holding above 21.7 on the daily is key also. So we're above that. We're above the 21.7 region. We're going to get people probably trying to short into this back test here, right? Because we broke down our back testing, but I think we're doing a bullish 5-0 on this pattern here, this harmonic structure. These do 50% retracements. If we're looking at more upside, if this was a really bad pattern, we could have seen this go down to the 618, which is like 18.4K, which was probably a really good entry for a long if we got there. Okay. But yeah, we're seeing some nice price action right now come in. Some nice buying coming in right now. This asset. So we looked at Lido. We'll look at Aptos. Oh, we'll finish looking at Theta as well. I think I like stopped looking at it in the midst of looking at it. All right. So Theta. I like Theta because it was in a nice wedge setup, right? So we have this wedge forming down here, you can see. So if short term, we're just trading this wedge pattern, we're looking at the top of the wedge, which is like $1.68 for Theta, right? At the top of this range right here, $1.70. And if we're reversing the price action, we could clearly see that that's an area where we could run into some trouble, right? We had the weekly basically give us a bearish cross, but that signaled actually the bottom for this asset, I think. So we're going to see how that plays out. Looks pretty promising. Making a higher low on the RSI with a higher low on price, right? So in line with the price action, the 3-day and 2-day chart, or the daily chart looks like we might be getting a pivot here, right? So a back test of this region, this $1.14 region. All right, our flow position is looking really, really nice right now. Just keep moving up those stops, guys. I think we're gonna see some nice price action. Looked at Matic. You guys want to look at anything else? How did Axis do? AXS, I gave that as a trade, right? I got a long on it. We're gonna look at Aptos, right? So bull flag formation here on Aptos. We looked at it earlier, right? I feel like we looked at it earlier. If not, it's all good. We can look at it again. I actually like this chart. Right. Up and handle called out at $3 and change beginning of January. We did a YouTube short on it. Filecoin. Also finding support here around that $5 region. Nice. Did you post those? Post the gains on that, man? What is this song? Yeah, so Filecoin. This is not all the data on Filecoin. Right, the falling wedge on Filecoin. So we didn't quite get it back above that $7 region. So I think we were going to retest that if we are going to be breaking north and holding this area as support. Right, this is the original base here that was held a holding $5 for Filecoin. So Filecoin can test up to, yeah, we're at 6.25, 660. We'll see what happens there. We get above that level, we can talk about maybe testing the top of the range again. All right, so that 236 fib extension around that $7 region, 715 region, I think we'll get tested again if we see more upside here. All right, so we did get these wedge breaks, and these are back tests of these wedge breaks. All right, lots of these assets are doing that. That's actually pretty good to see. All right. Yeah, man. Even Cardano looking like it's catching a bid here. All right, up 3% right at this pivot low. Nice 8-hour long flashing here. I mean, you got 7 hours left on this candle, so let's see what happens here. 4 hours long, 6 hour printed along. All right, so we got 4 and 6 hour longs here on Cardano as well. All right, double bottoms. I'm still in flow, guys. I took a trade on that. We gave an entry on 88 cents on it. And I'm still in the flow long right now, all right? 6 hour long printing on flow. This should be nice. We get some nice upside on this move. Patience pays, guys, right? So hopefully we see a nice retracement up. Hopefully this is actually what we think it is, right? The double bottoms in the higher lows. Coming in here at the middle of the range for Bitcoin. We're back testing this right now. We're starting to throw some counter trend shorts on the 6 hour here. So we're running into the back testing or resistance, right? Remember, this is resistance right now. All right, since we broke down from it. But if this is a snapback, this is going to be one hell of a snapback, guys. Right? This is going to be one hell of a snapback if we get it. That would be insane. Right, run up to 23, back test this level as support 22.4 where we're at, and then run. That would be something to really see, guys. That would be really amazing to see. I think the Fed has spoken. They're going to bail. They're bailing out the bank, man. They just went belly up. So that just means you know that they're going to do stuff if shit breaks right along the way. So it sounds like to me. So they might continue making it more difficult to borrow money, but they're going to continue. They're going to have to bail out all these banks, man, that fail. They're going to have to print that money out or whatever. But they're just going to make it more expensive to do business. And I think inflation's still going to be high. It's not going to go away. They might get to their 4% at some point, but yep, it'll be a bail-in exactly. And they'll just take basically IOUs, right? Yeah, scary times coming for sure. V-shape recovery on this move? That would be insane, huh? What do you guys think? Crazy stuff happening right now. We are watching this price action. It's pretty impressive right now. What's happening on these charts, right? Let's go to, I actually downloaded all the USD markets because they're actually, Tether isn't really, I feel like the Tether prices are off. They're not in line with USD prices right now. USD, that means USD is coming into this market right now. They're buying it. There's more USD coming into this market right now than obviously, USDC is obviously not at peg. Neither technically is Tether, right? Technically Tether isn't pegged, right? And they just had to inject cash into this market to keep USDC afloat and keep Tether afloat, basically. But I think maybe Tether borrows liquidity from USDC, right? I don't actually know how that's working out, so I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But BTC USD is 22.7K almost, okay? Interesting. Crazy. 22.6K and actually just busting through right now. What a move here on Bitcoin. 22.6K. 21.7 was like the region that I thought we would see mad shorts piling, like right near this moving average. See, Tether's at 22.4, right? Big difference on the spread here. We have some counter trend shorts coming in. But we really want to be looking at like the 4 hour, right? We don't have any shorts coming down the 4 hour, man. This is a big swing potential. Okay. But 98 cents probably for flow on a swing trade. Right, if you have a trade off the bottom here, 85. Soldier, if you're still with me, man, nice trade, brother. Right, so Soldier posting a nice profit here, 65% on the Axis long signal that we gave in the Discord. Okay, if you guys aren't part of the Discord, make sure you guys check that out. At 5 o'clock, I alerted we got a 3 hour long on Axis Infinity. And what do you know? Through about 3 hours later, he's up 65%. That's the multi-range, power of the multi-range indicator for you, right? Synthetics putting in a nice candle here, man. Wow, look at this move. We were talking about synthetics the other day on the stream, I think, when it was retesting the bottom of this range here around 240s. I think it started being oversold. This looking really nice. Nice snapback rally for this one too. Yeah, so I think, like I said, man, we got to get Bitcoin above that 23.8 region and back into this structure here that it broke down out of. Okay. I would say we're coming into some resistance right here for Bitcoin. So just be aware of that. We're starting to come into a moving average on the 4 hour tether chart. Do you have an ADX cross here though? That's really, really big. 5 hour ADX cross, 6 hour. We got volatility spiking. 6 hour volatility spike here too on Bitcoin. All right, this is a snapback move here for Bitcoin, looks like, right? We could see some power out of this move. So we'll see if we get back above this region. All right, that's really key. $23,000 region. I would say that's really where I'm looking right now. Getting back above where we're at, where we touched 22.6K. Right, the spot market is at that right now on US dollar. Right, so that's yeah, we touched 22.8K. Oh wow, you guys can't see me anymore, right? Hang on a second. Nice. Sorry about that. Let's see. Yeah, so 22.6K. That's the region where we're looking to break out from right now. 22.9 is our next local resistance here, so roughly about 23K. This Blur coin is a new one, I think, right? Listed on Coinbase. This could go back up to like 63 cents. Why not? Where it opened. New coin though, not a lot of data on it. Okay, but yeah, the daily is 38 on the RSI. Bailout announced. Yep. So USDC will be completely bailed out, along with Roku and whoever else has unsecured FDIC deposits at that bank. And so that's the scary thing, right? Like, there's $22 trillion, I think, in the financial industry, right? And I think like not a big portion of that is actually FDIC insured. Okay, and so that's a scary thing, and that's the issue we could really be facing. Okay, and I don't know what that's going to do. I don't know what the implications of that are, but I know Bitcoin was born out of the last 2008 financial crisis, and so if this thing is going to do anything, it's going to actually hold up in this mess, right? It's gonna outperform gold, right? Gold BTC chart. We all know how gold performs in a financial crisis, right? It went nuts. Gold's gonna go nuts. All real rare commodity or real commodities are gonna go nuts during this crash, right? We're gonna see a big financial crisis crash, and that could really stir the pot up for a lot of these companies, right? Money's still gonna be expensive to borrow in this environment. Raising of interest rates. Money becomes expensive to borrow, so you want to own deflationary type of asset. High inflation. That's what we're gonna be dealing with, right? So loss of purchasing power. Lots of people are gonna go poor and broke. It's gonna be bad. None of this is gonna be good. But that's where we're at, guys. We're about to see, Bitcoin test all this stuff out, and it could be a trying time for a lot of people. So hopefully you guys are prepared. Right, take care of your families, take care of your what you got to do, but make sure you guys are always hedged in this life, and you gotta have a game plan, right? So we're just here to help you guys trade the markets and watch the markets, right? None of this stuff is financial advice. We're just doing our thing here. We're just looking at charts and trying to decide where the market's going to take the price, long term or short term, whatever we're looking at. Like we're looking at 12-hour on Bitcoin, we could go test the top of this range. We're talking about 23.8. Remember that, guys. We stay above 22.6 long enough, and we use this area as support. We could see Bitcoin actually go back up, test top this range at around 23.8K. We've said it like 8 times tonight. Remember, 23.8K. It's a big level. All right. How would Pax Gold perform versus real gold, like on Uphold? I don't know. I wouldn't, honestly. I'm probably not gonna trade crypto version of gold. I'd rather just if I'm gonna have gold, it's gonna be physical. I'm not gonna buy a paper asset of it, right? That's why I own Bitcoin. That's why I own Ethereum. Those are the real assets for crypto, right? I don't want to own. I mean, owning physical gold is fine. It's actually fine to own physical gold long term. It's not as volatile as Bitcoin, right? It's a lot more stable than Bitcoin. But I think eventually Bitcoin will be stable, and it's actually going to take a lot of gold's market cap if it stands true to what it's supposed to really be doing, right? So this is the whole test for Bitcoin right now, and you're seeing that the banks are supporting the crypto market, right? The Fed's supporting it, right? They just bailed out this bank in a big way. So that says something, man. That says like, hey, man, maybe we do need this stuff. Maybe we need to see what this technology really can do for money, right? And I think that's where we're going. That's the way this is going right now. That's what it's looking like. You guys still with me? We got 12 people watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream tonight. Make sure you guys smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you guys aren't already. The 12 of you guys that are here, I'm sure I've been here for years, right? So appreciate you guys sticking around till the end here. Bitcoin holding on to 22.6. Be a sweet CME gap. Yeah, we could go back to fill it, right? Remember, we could go back to fill it. If we reject 23.8, right? We can come back to fill it and make like another higher low or something, right? We've seen it all, right? We've seen Bitcoin do all this stuff. What if we're looking at a V-shaped recovery back into that structure, guys? We're probably gonna break that structure, right? That's really powerful. Make another higher low like that. Always nice to help the CME out. Yeah. Any node wedges that we can trade? Good question. We looked at a few, right? Everything's putting in a higher low. So like, if the whole market's putting in a higher low, you can pretty much trade whatever wedge pattern we originally set up, like Algorand, right? That was one that we originally set up. We called that one out earlier today in our Discord channel on 18.4 cents. Right, this was a node wedge setup. All right. Let me actually get rid of this noise on the chart. So the monthly or the weekly, right, was a wedge, but it had different. This asset isn't performing the best, right? But it just basically making a type 2 return back to retest this wedge break. Okay, it came back into the structure, so not really the strongest asset, but it's going to probably go back up to test 24 or 25 cents. If this is a true double bottom, which it could be, we're going to see this asset go back up, test the neckline, right? The neckline's at 29 cents, 29.5 cents. And if you break that, then we're really looking at a nice move, right? We're looking at a break of this range, which is about an 83% range on Algorand. And we can see Algorand break that. That would send it back up to about 45 cents, right? This next level right here, which is confluent with this level right here. So this to me would be a big area, 50 cents for Algorand. Yeah, man, SNX. Synthetics made a nice run. Yep. AVAX put in a huge candle off this support. All right. The whole NFT marketplace for Amazon. Dude, that's why that's why I remained bullish long-term here, because of all these things coming out, like Amazon, and next month with the NFT marketplace. I've overheard that's going to be launched next month. That's a big deal, man. Amazon getting into the NFT space. There you go. And Flow, right? We've been talking about Flow. Ticketmaster. Don't forget about Ticketmaster, man. Ticketmaster coming into space. Some big things happening in this space. We just need to be patient with it and let the regulators regulate and do whatever they got to do to make this space better. If they're bailing out banks, like I think they're gonna have to see what kind of innovation this space brings. So I think this should be good long term for these assets that are participating with real brands, right? It's good to get rid of the stuff that doesn't work and that's basically scams, all that stuff. Get rid of that stuff. Keep the good stuff is what I'm for here. Any exciting news with HBAR? I don't know. Actually, I think they recently just got hacked or something, right? Something happened there on like one of their dexes. I think they patched it. I don't know what's really happening with it. I think it'll be fine, man. I mean, they're a big project, but anything can happen in this space, dude. But yeah, this was a wedge break and a back test right off this low. I drew something out to the 618, so maybe it gets there at 12 cents and then back test or something. We continue. Right, one more leg. And then back test. Or maybe even come all the way down. Something like that. Don't have that much data on this asset. What else do you guys want to look at? So what other, you guys have any other NFT coins that were good? I have a list here of NFT shit coins. Nice. Let's see. This one made a move. This VAI one, this whatever this coin is. You know what coin I was looking at was ERN, or not ERN. Name of it. EFI. That's this one, right? Yeah. Efinity. This is a .NFT protocol or marketplace or something. I think NFT marketplaces are going to do really well this cycle. Okay. This is a bottom of a range again on this asset. We don't have lots of data on it, but I mean that's probably as low risk as it's going to get. Bottom of a range. Yeah, daily oversold. Loop Ring had a nice rip today, man. That was a nice rally it got today, Loop Ring. You guys see that? That breakout, the back test of the falling wedge pattern. I think Loop Ring is going to do really well this cycle, guys. They have GameStop behind them. Hey, thank you so much for the $2 super chat, man. What about Bone and Luna Classic? Yeah, we can take a look at them. Any particular exchange Bone has all the data on? Because that would be really helpful. Maybe CoinX has the data? No. This is a new coin, right? Bone. Get? No. Poloniex has the data? No. Poloniex or Uniswap? That's not very helpful. USD coin? I guess. Here we go. Yeah, so it's still the same. When did it launch? This is basically when it launched, right? Either which way, I mean, as long as you're making these higher lows here, you could hold this range. You got a nice trend line here you're respecting. Yeah, so let's watch the spot market because that's what's really going on here. This is where all the price action is in the USD, not versus stablecoins, but actually versus USD. So 22.5, we've come off that 22.6 region a bit. Bone is far from the SHIB team, gonna be the native coin of Shibarium. Okay. And then Luna Classic. I don't know, just who has Luna Classic's data? I feel like KuCoin had it, right? Isn't it just regular like Luna or whatever? Yeah. I guess Gemini has it. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, if you ever break that trend line, you could probably go back up to this region here. All right, that's Luna Classic for you. So yeah, loop ring, going back to that real fast. Hopefully that's helpful, Rod. Luna Classic there. If you do break that trend line, you could be looking at that upside, right? CRV. Yeah, we didn't take a look at that. Just looks like CRV actually broke on the monthly chart, right? I would say those are your real levels on the monthly chart for CRV. Your swing levels, okay? If this pattern does continue up to the upside, and we're putting in a nice higher low here, right? We are testing these moving averages. Like I said, this could be acting as a resistance for now for this asset. You know, maybe a channel or some sort of wedge break here. I would say channel. If you break back above this level and you reclaim this level, I mean, this was originally a range, right? Like we could see that this was originally the trading range and broke it. And so basically what we're looking at is this, if this can get back above this median trend line here, CRV, then it can go back to the top of the range and then back test it again as support and then just run through it, right? So that's what you're looking for. You're gonna get the rally up, and then it may not go this high. It may just go to this resistance and pull back again, right? So it depends on how powerful this move is. That's the key. And that's the key to see Bitcoin. If it really does a snapback, like we're going to get above, 23.8, man, and we're going to liquidate all these people that are shorting this market right now, I think then we get some fuel to really blast through that area. If not, then, we just end up rejecting 22.6, and then we come back down to retest 21.3.4K again, right? That's the level that if we broke back above, if we hold it as support, then we know that that's really where the support's at. So these altcoins are just going to really, perform if Bitcoin's performing, right? So we got to really watch what Bitcoin's doing and watch what the market does tomorrow on its open. That's really the key. If the market just comes out screaming, rallying, like we know that the Fed is helping, defunct crypto banks and stuff, I mean, that means they're going to help out a major institution too, right? Not just some small bank. Like if JPM goes under, like what are they going to do? Not bail them out? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. But yeah, we'll see, man. This is the back test right now for Bitcoin, back into the structure. Right, we're seeing it. This is the back test. Let me know if you guys have any more assets. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys Wednesday. I do a Wednesday stream on the DGen protocol communities stream, so you guys can catch me there too in the middle of the week. All right. Let me know if you guys have any more assets you guys want to look at. We can look at traditional assets too. It's fine. But I just think that crypto might outperform traditional assets right now. since it's such a smaller market, right? It's only $930 billion market. It's not even a $1 trillion asset class anymore. So that just tells you something, that maybe more money is going to pour into this market versus the stock market, right? Bitcoin USDC stablecoin rally after US intervenes on Silicon Valley Bank. That's the news, right? Zilliqa, I think Gabe Coin too. Nice. Thoughts on Zilliqa? Listen, guys, Zilliqa. I think Zilliqa is what a EVM compatible chain. Also, I think a lot of these EVM compatible chains are going to do well, right? Anything that can actually grab liquidity from Ethereum is going to do well. That's why I'm going with the DOT ecosystem, because that's the biggest parallel opportunity I think that exists in this market is the DOT ecosystem. And was it Gavin Wood? Yeah, who's an ETH founder. I think that's going to be a good play long term. Remember, do your own research, guys. This is my plan. So I like KSM, I like Mover, I like Glimmer, I like all the layer ones for DOT. I think those are going to explode if DOT explodes. Right, KSM last cycle did something really silly, man. Really, really silly. It went from like $1 to $600 last cycle. And if this thing does anything similar to what it did previously, maybe it doesn't do a 600x, but maybe it does what? 50x, 100x, maybe even 30x. I mean, who's going to complain about that? Right? Falling wedge breakout, came back down to back test the break. We'll see if this asset holds up here, right? Because this is an area where it rallied right off the 50% retracement level, right, on log scale. And you can clearly see on the RSI what I really like about this asset. Well, also Bitcoin shows the same thing. So you could really see that it grinded out through this RSI, broke out of the RSI, changed the trend of the relative strength. Okay, yeah, Arbitrum is a good one. OP is another one, layer 2, right? OP made a run. We called that out at 50 cents, right, guys? They went up to $3. We even said that was the top of its range in price discovery. Right, we had plenty of people that took that trade in the community. That was a good one. Right, so here's KSM, man. This is, you get an RSI looking like this, I think. Yeah, this is quite the squeeze too, man. Like, look how tight these Bollingers are in here, versus how wide. And not, you guys see how tight that is on a 3-day chart. If you just go to like the weekly, even the monthly, you can see. Well, the monthly isn't really as confluent with that, but like the 2-week chart, you can see. Look how tight the squeeze is on the 2-week chart, man. That is insane squeeze. So we got some upside, I think, if these assets are making higher lows like this. We got a 2-week Bollinger Band squeeze happening here, and it's about to cross the plane, just cross the plane to the north side. The first level of positive momentum on the 2-week chart since October of 21 for this asset, okay? That's 6 months, right? 5 months. That's a long time. So I think, yeah, we're going to see some relief from this asset. Again, this is all pending Bitcoin breaks back above 25K, and we break the 200-week moving average, and we see a common retracement up to 35K region. With all those things happening, this asset can for sure get back up to close to that $150 region or $130 region, all right, that next fib extension. It'll probably blow through this, right? It tested that. It tested it. So it's probably going to test that again if Bitcoin can do that, right? This is all contingent upon Bitcoin holding the line and not getting shorted from here. All right, guys. KSM DOT looks good. I mean, lots of things look good here. If we're putting in higher lows, I think we're good. Just don't break the lows, right? Don't make lower lows. What do you guys say? Let's go back to the tether chart for a second. Yeah, so we're back. It's back testing right now. With we definitely have daily bearish divergence on the dollar or on the tether chart. Right, you guys can see the high and almost it's a slightly higher high on momentum. We got a pivot and a sell on Tether. All right, guys. So it's looking pretty good here. See if Tether can break back below this region here. On the monthly chart, it still actually looks good, right? Because we got that monthly bearish engulfing candle, and this was a doji candle that it's starting to make this reversal, but we were looking at this 7.3% region. You know, we could wick up as high as even up here, up to 7.7. I think we got there, right? We wicked up there, right? And we're seeing this rejection. We're seeing this rejection here. Really strong rejection on Tether. So this could actually turn into that 3-bar play to the downside. All right, we'll see how this plays out. We still have this sell up here on the monthly, all right? That's still active for us. Beautiful. And man, that is a long wicked rejection candle on the weekly chart there for Tether. Okay. See how this does, guys. You guys enjoy the stream. You guys know what to do. Leave the like, leave a comment in the description after the stream. We'll catch you guys in the next one. All right. You guys have a wonderful week.